Hey, everybody, good evening. This is Sam Spencer with Soccer Sheet, an all weekly soccer publication covering Charlotte FC and Charlotte soccer, as well as soccer across the world. Tonight, I am very honored to be joined by some esteemed guests for the the inaugural Footy Awards, because we wanted to have a place where we could award and recognize some of the great people, whether it's players, team members, fans, you name it, who make the Charlotte soccer ecosystem a great place to be. And so, thank you to everybody who helps build our community, but especially our special guest tonight, Jaylin Lindsey from Charlotte FC, Jessica Charman from WFNZ, Steve Goldberg from the Queen City Football Chronicle, Charlotte Post, and many other publications. And of course, our host, who I'm happy to turn it over to right now, Danny Brams himself, Emmy-winning major producer. I can't say enough good things about him. And as he's told me to say, the funniest person I know. Danny, take it away.
That's right. That's right, Sam. It's really not really about any awards or honors or accolades or anything like that. I just want to be remembered as a funny guy. That's really all I'm going for. So thank you for having me. Thank you. What's up, sports fans? Welcome to the nomination review. I think this is so cool. Like, there's so many publications out there that do these awards, right? And they're like, oh, we're going to give our local awards or whatever. And you might see a poll, but you never really get to see the process. So this is kind of new for fans out there to see how these like great awards things work from the inside out. We're going to meet with you tonight. We're going to talk about who's nominated in the categories. People have been submitting their nominations. So this is kind of like the finalists after the nomination process, if you will. And you're going to get to see what we think, early thoughts heading into this that might give you a reason to vote for a certain person or a certain thing, and help you inform your decision. And we got an honored panel here. The panel looks great. You really did a great job bringing everyone together, Sam.
Thank you very much. And before we get to the awards, I would be remiss if I didn't thank other people from the Charlotte, the Soccer Sheet team, Yara Al-Bayari and Jesse Kimmel, who have been helping produce Soccer Sheet all year, whether it's been covering the club or putting up with Messi Mania. We've had a bunch of talented people work to help put this together. So thank you, everybody. And with that, Danny, we will go on to our fan and community awards.
All right. Are we still suffering from Messi Mania? I don't know. I saw he played an exhibition game on TV the other night, and I don't know. I didn't watch. So, fan and community awards. This is what it's all about. We're going to get some player awards and things like that, and team awards. But what is soccer in the community without the community, right? It's nothing. So let's talk about first something that is near and dear to our hearts, a great way that fans connect with their favorite teams, and that's photography, right? It's the pictures, it's the video, it's those moments that are captured forever, great things you see with your own eyes, and they may be burned on your brain, but that photo evidence is really what it's all about, and everyone appreciates a great photo, great little clip of video, and we're very lucky to be blessed with some of the best in this city. We have some that work for the team, some that are independent, some that do it as a side business, some that do it for love. And we got tons of nominees, probably of all the categories. This one got the widest range of like different people being submitted. Here's who we have chosen as judges for the finalists. Why don't we start this over with Steve? Because Steve, I know you do a lot of photography. Why don't you start us on this discussion and talk about some of these nominees and what you look for in a great photo and a great photographer?
A great photo just, say a photo is worth 1,000 words. It's true sometimes. It captions emotions, things like that. We're in a new paradigm too, where teams are doing pretty much their own media center as well. So that you have two Charlotte FC photogs on here is not surprising, because I believe actually you could have all of them on there.
Right.
I look at them more as a unit, because they work collectively. And they put out some great stuff. They're traveling with the team. They give us information. They give us a look behind the curtain sometimes and things like that. And Taylor, obviously, you see her cut line on a lot of things there. Alana, I'm not as familiar with there, but it's not just the still photos, but also the video. If it weren't for them, I might not even be able to see some of the goals that Crown Legacy scored in their games because, well, let's not talk about Apple's coverage at this time because that my mom said, if you can't say something nice, so I won't say anything at all. But the team is there. They capture these moments, and there have been a lot of great moments with the Legacy as well as with Charlotte FC. And it's a way, and it's also the world we live in now. Instant thing. A lot of people won't read a whole article, but they'll look at the pictures.
Yeah, no doubt,
perfect.
no doubt.
It's perfect for the social media world we're in.
And Jess, you're someone who documents the team with your voice, right? With your eyes and your voice. These folks are out here doing it, with their eyes and like putting the photo evidence. How does like photography and videography connect to you? Like you wouldn't be able to do your job without these camera operators, even though we're mostly focused still photography here. You know what I'm talking about when it comes to putting the pictures and the words all together.
Yeah, I'm not going to lie. Some of my favorite moments are in the season or when you see a amazing video be uploaded on Instagram, right? And they put your voice over the top of it. It's pretty surreal for me in moments to see the connectivity that I have between the video and then sharing the voices. The women do an incredible job. I think it's really special what the club has done with the all-female, predominantly photography crew and how they lead by example and how they're trailblazing in those moments. So both Taylor and Alana are incredible at what they do. I've had a chance to really get to know Jorge Torres, and I think that some of his pictures are extraordinary. I think about the Justin Merrim picture that he was able to get with the apology goal, and that one was extremely extraordinary. And then Kevin Young, I think back to some of the images I've seen on social media with him coloring the sky and like the outside of the stadium blue and using the drone. And I think Kevin comes up with really unique ways of documenting it. So I speak as someone that has, social media and likes to see great things be put to life. And it's always fun to be able to relive. And then another part I like about the photography, and I'm sure Jaylin can speak to this more, is you see the players interacting with the photographers. And that's really special. Not just, obviously you expect them to interact with the Charlotte FC photographers. They work for the club, they're part of the team. But when you see those personal interactions between local media and the players, that always puts a smile on my face.
Yeah, what's it like for you, Jaylin, to know that you've got that in-house group that's always documenting everything you do, like all the time, and then on game day, even more people show up to take pictures and things like that? I just wonder, like, when you're thinking about great photographers, what's informing, if you're going to vote in this poll, what kind of thoughts are running through your head?
I mean, I would say for me, like, obviously through these nominees, I'm obviously very familiar with Taylor and Alana. Them work with the team, so they're there with us usually. I see them almost by every other day throughout the week, and obviously it's nice that they're really good people. And like Jess said, like they kind of lead by example. Being the female kind of group that kind of leads by example. To photographers locally. Hopefully throughout social media as well. And for me, obviously as a player, like it's always nice to have, good pictures and good content myself. So, they do a fantastic job. Jorge and Kevin, I'm sure that if I see their face, I'll probably recognize or, what kind of photos they do. But, I think all these guys, put their heart and soul to these, photos and content or whatever. So I want to say thank you to all these people that, have done their part and, gotten, I guess, content from me or the team. We really do appreciate it. And, we love your, support and all that you do. So
has anyone given you a photo that you felt was so great that you want to get framed and put in your house somewhere or anything like that?
Yeah, I mean, I had a couple, by Taylor and Alana that were really good. Also had another photographer that's not this nominee list, but Griffin Zetterberg had a couple good photos as well of me. And, obviously I have a couple that are framed, here in my household. So those are pictures that are kind of memorable for me. So it's good just to have those kind of photos. When I look at it, there's like a whole story behind it. So
yeah, the fact that you can like know the person who took it is probably makes it even that much more special for sure. Well, Steve busted out, that classic old chestnut of pictures worth 1,000 words. It's certainly true. The people who write those words, that's our next category, favorite local soccer news source. and we'll scroll through the nominees as Sam will pop them up. The Ledger, the Charlotte Soccer Show, Queen City Football Chronicle, and Top Bin 90. This is a feisty category. There's a lot of people that cover this team, you know, and this sport in this city, you know, whether it's blogs, legacy media, podcasts, all inclusive, you know, video writing combos. Like, we're well covered. Some people, you know, and it's like, you know, sometimes sources are right, sometimes sources are wrong. People have their different sources and things like that, but it makes it fun. And like, what would it, sure, going to the games is great, but like following the team on the days in between match days is what like ties us to this club like so passionately. And let's start with you this time, Jess. Like, what do you think when you need to be up on the news, because you can't come to a game without knowing all the news, right? You can't get it all by yourself. You need sources.
Yeah, and I love how you've got so many different sources of information selected, and I've got to get to know everyone behind all of those 4 nominations. So that's a really cool place to get to know people on a human level. I think it's really interesting how people have different takes on media. You look at a Charlotte Ledger and it's very serious and professional. And that's not saying that you guys aren't professional. I'm not talking about you, but Carol does a very good job of being, you know, she's so articulate, Carol, and she's so smart. And she's an incredible journalist. Top Bin 90, what can I say about Jorge Gonzalez? Not much that he hasn't said about himself before. I think Jorge and everything he's doing in Top Bin 90 is incredible. The way he is sourcing his entourage, the way that I walk into the media booth and I will see 1 in 5 people that are credentialed are probably part of Jorge's squad with Top Bin 90, but that just shows how his personality is very engaging. And there's a reason why Jorge has a big fat head in the supporters section and some of our players don't. And it's because Jorge has become almost like a face of the team now. And it's amazing what he's done there. Charlotte Soccer Show, I'm going to make you blush a little bit, Danny Brams, but it's one of the podcasts that I very much enjoy listening to. And again, it's the interesting twist between, you know, making it fan fed, but also being knowledgeable. You make it fun, you make it engaging, you make it relate to alcohol, which I know is a good little twist to a lot of people as well. And
part of the culture. Sure.
Queen
Not
City
every single
post goes down at kind of with the Carol stuff, the serious. So I like that this is a hard category because you've got kind of like the sort of, I don't want to say nerdy, that sounds like such a mean word, but I mean like it's like the educational side and then more of the fan fest side. So.
And that's why I think the great modifier, the adjective used here on the name of the category, favorite, is so perfect. I definitely agree. Jaylin, I know you're going to come with the standard athlete line of, you know, we don't pay attention to what the media is saying. I'm not, you know, every athlete's out there. I'm not even on social media. Yeah, I don't even read that stuff. If you were to come across anything like that, is there anything you think of when you read other people writing about what you're doing for a living? I mean, because it's got to be tough, but is there some type of perspective you can appreciate there?
I mean, yeah, obviously it's always, you know, it's always good when, you know, especially with these nominees, you know, they almost work their heart and soul about, you know, doing content for our team, for the fans, and then, you know, getting data and getting names and getting information. And they do a lot just to try to do all this for, you know, their kind of, you know, soccer news show or even source. But, you know, obviously as an athlete, when you do go on social media, it's always good to, you know, see the nice things, but then there's always people that have, you know, different opinions and stuff like that as well. But it's also about, I think for these nominees, it's also about, I guess their credibility and, you know, what is true, what is not true, you know, what are they kind of feeding the fans and stuff like that. So, you know, obviously like I said before, like all these guys, you know, they do so much work to try to like inform or keep the fans updated and stuff like that. So, you know, obviously I know 3 of these off the top of my head, pretty well. But, you know, I think all these guys, you know, deserve to be a nominee under this category.
Yeah, terrific. And yeah, like they always say, like one mean comment can destroy 100 nice comments on the internet, you know, like for sure.
Yeah, for
And
sure,
like,
yeah.
I'm sure it's no easier for a public figure or a private citizen for sure. So that,
Oh, yeah, but
keep
that's
that
like
in mind.
that's even real life too. Like you
Right.
feel like just outside of soccer. I mean, you have a bunch of good comments and then one bad comment. It's just like, all right, well, great.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, no doubt. Well,
Hey,
we're
Danny,
gonna,
since
are we
there's
moving on to the
a
next category here, Sam?
since there's a
Okay.
conflict of interest, I think I might have to take over here because I just want everybody to know that before we even asked Danny or Jess or Jaylin to be on, a lot of people voted for all three of them and Steve as well. So um, I want to take this down because obviously Charlotte Soccer Show, Danny, that's your baby. Crown Corner is what Jess does with Willie P. Since everybody on this podcast has admitted that we can't pronounce Willie P's last name. But also we
No,
have
I can. I didn't admit that. I can call it Will Pelagic. I'm all over it, baby. Come on now.
He has a last
um,
name.
but we also have the Queen's Pitch and the Crown Cast and Mid City Soccer Show, and I think the Mid City Soccer Show might have gotten the most nominations due to how many Mid City.
They have the collective, of course.
Oh,
The
yeah.
collective was mobilized for sure.
You got the collective there, so it's going to be a really interesting category. Lots of people who contribute to our ecosystem, and with that, I will give it back to you, Danny.
Well, I like that you have the category there of the podcast, and I like that there's some distinction of that people can sort of like the previous category was news source, and then you have podcast, and like now we're going to talk about some reporter nominees. So there's a chance for lots of people to be honored. Jess mentioned Jorge Gonzalez by name, and he is going to be nominated in this category individually. He runs Top Bin 90. I want to know from Steve, because Steve, you have been not to call you old, as they say, but like you've been doing this for a long time in the city. You have covered this sport in this city, and you've worked on World Cups going back years and years. Like, what's it like to see the growth and see all these, now there's all these sources and like there's all these people doing it, and there's all these new podcasts and like fans that want to get involved, and just like talk about the growth of the scene as we look at some of these nominees and tell people why they should vote for you, of course.
There's no reason why people should vote for me. The fact that, I mean, there's great people on here, and I'm a big fan of Carol's from her AJC days. I mean, with that, everybody on here brings a different perspective to it. Claudio, I've known, we go back to covering the Hornets together and things like that. And Jorge, with his exuberance and stuff and his passion for it is important. He's, he wants to break news and things like that. I want to tell the stories of the people who are behind it. I've talked to Jaylin a number of times, and I want to thank Jaylin for always, being very gracious. He listens to your questions. He answers what was asked. And, actually, a lot of the players do that. And it's important, that it work on both sides. And that's why, going through, it's important to have relationships between the players, between the staff, the coaches, and the media that cover them and stuff. And then as those things develop over time, we get to see a little more behind the scenes and stuff. I mean, I'm a big fan of Jess's and what she's been doing on Sirius, because she has time to really expound upon things, and she's her knowledge base is incredible on that. And Charlotte, I didn't know how lucky we were to have her here until I got to hear it in a broader national realm. And that's also very good for Charlotte, because we weren't getting a lot of love on Sirius XM. And every time she's on there, Charlotte is well represented. So that's important. I mean, put her, on a ex officio marketing department. And the thing is, Charlotte did not just become a soccer town 2 years ago. Charlotte has been a soccer town for, 40 years. The first professional team, the Carolina Lightning, won their national championship in their first year in 1981. The Charlotte Eagles have 3 national championships. We saw the Crown Legacy, go that way today. Charlotte FC were in the playoffs. We're blessed, and there's a lot going here. Jaylin is from Charlotte and stuff. We're growing talent.
He's one of our own. He's one of our own, for sure.
And so, we've been a soccer city for a long time. We're just now represented on every level of the game.
Yeah, I think it's fantastic. And then People can choose their favorite reporter, and I think that will be a very fiercely contested category. Same with this one. Jess, you're the one that's blushing now. You got to brag on me. Steve got to brag on you. How about you brag on Jaylin, and we'll complete the circle, and then tell us a little bit about just, what it's like to call the game and the great respect and how it's an honor just to be nominated here.
Yeah, I mean, I feel very, very fortunate to have been involved in the club since day one, right? There's not many people that can say that they've been there or been present and told the story of every single Charlotte FC match. And I've been able to do that. I've had a chance to get to know the players, get to know the guys, get to know everyone behind the scenes. And it's been an honor. And anyone that knows my story and how I came here, to play soccer and then fell in love with commentating while playing, it is really, really amazing. And it's amazing to have been able to now take it to the next level in MLS. And I'm blessed to be around really incredible people. And that's why I'll take a time to brag on, Eric, who's really taken me under his wing. Eric's a fantastic mentor. Lloyd Sam, who ironically, when I was growing up, I used to go and watch play in England. So that dates Lloyd a little bit from me. And Lloyd is probably, feeling a bit old when I tell him I was about 8 years old when I was watching Lloyd play soccer in England. So I won't talk too much about that. And then what can we say about Will, right? I think I love this club and I love my job, but Will just takes it to the next level. I mean, Will literally bleeds blue. If you cut Will in half, he would bleed out blue. And he loves the club. He loves the players. He loves his job. And it's a credit to work with someone that really, truly, takes on everything it means to be the voice of the team. So Eric and Lloyd, fantastic. They've had a really difficult job this year, having to be neutral. So I know there's been some people that have given them a bit of stick, but at the end of the day, it's their job to be neutral now that they work for Apple TV as well. Will and I have it a bit easier because we are voices of the club. I'm gonna shout out Will and give him some love so that he realizes how much I appreciate him, because anyone that listens to us knows I give Will a lot of shit. Like I poke. Am I allowed to swear? It's
Sure,
okay.
of course, yeah.
Okay.
You're absolutely allowed
The
to say
FCC
Okay, cool.
can't touch us, baby.
just keep it below like a Millwall supporter section.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I give Will, like, my whole
Wrexham.
persona a lot of the time is poking shit at Will for some of his takes. He puts up with it amazingly. So big up Will Pulisic.
I love it. Well, we are us media types now will stop patting ourselves on the back and navel gazing through this thing, giving ourselves awards. Let's talk about the people who really are out there working it in the streets as community members. We got favorite fans, favorite supporters, things to cheer about coming up in this section of the show. So I just want to thank everyone for being here on the inaugural Y'all Weekly Soccer Sheet Awards. This is such a cool thing, and getting to just hang with the three of y'all has been just amazing for me so far. I think we all know who these folks are, right? Hector, Alicia, Becca, Matt. These folks are the folks you go to a game and you see them every time. You can't miss them. You can't miss Sombrero Man. You certainly can't miss the Mint City Collective. Becca's the president. Matt's a former. I think he's the vice president. So, Jaylin, I want to talk to you about the connection with the community and how great it feels. I know we talked about mean comments, nice comments earlier, but no matter what people are saying, this city feels this club. And as Steve said, you're from the town. You're one of our own. Yeah,
I mean, for me, I think just doing, just the community stuff, it means a lot more to me. It might be the same for other people, but especially for me, it feels really special because obviously, like you said, me being from here and just kind of giving back, whether it's to, if I'm doing some community service stuff or if I'm doing stuff with the fans, I want to do every bit I can to kind of give back to the city because I know, how much it kind of means to them. And obviously for me as well, I want to give everything to the city that, I can while I'm here. And, I think, whether that's doing stuff on the field or off the field, I want to make the fans, obviously happy. I want to have a good relationship with them and just people in the community as well, because, obviously at the end of the day, I want to be that sort of role model, whether if it's on or off the pitch. So, it means a lot to me, especially, with these nominees. Some of these I do know, some I don't, but, it's a good thing that, they're nominated because they need that recognition to, show what they do for the community. So.
Yeah, I agree. And there's just you can see there's tons of great, that's whether it's community leader, you know, someone who's like sort of serving in a supporters group or things like that, or it's just favorite fan. Maybe you're not a leader in a group, but you're just part of a group. Sombrero Man somehow made it into both categories. We're going to have to talk to Hector about that. But, you know, these are the folks you see. Everybody knows Chico. Everybody knows Marcella and Zelly. Like, these are the people who make a match day experience. Like, going to the stadium to see the team play, obviously, but it's not your full match day experience unless you see these kind of like famous fans sometimes, you know. And I wonder, can you see him from the sidelines, Steve, when you look up, like, what's it like for you sort of seeing the same faces in the stands every game when you go around to a match?
Actually, I could walk through every section of the stadium and know someone there, the way this community has grown. But the fan section, the supporter section has been special. They're committed. They're good people. I've known Hector from going back and when I was covering the Hornets for FIBA and stuff. He's always there. He is one of the most.
Were you with him when he bought his first sombrero?
No, he had the sombrero, but I did give him the idea to put it on the back of his first Hornets jersey.
There you go.
And Hector is not a small man. He's big, and he's a middle school teacher, and he is so great with kids and everybody. He's authentic, and there are so many there who are there. Chico, I see him at all the legacy games as well.
Right.
I see him at all the away games. You know, he's going to be on TV. And that has to be great for the team. When the number of fans that have traveled has been very impressive. I don't know where they get their budget for this, but they
jump in Jess's luggage, I think, and just fly around. You know. Oh wait, she doesn't get to travel with the team either.
Don't get me started on the fact I call the away games from a screen. I think I deserve the biggest credit.
Right? Yeah. If nothing else, can we fight for that?
So.
That is a skill set. But I'd like to ask Jason, what is it like when you're traveling to New York and Florida and all these other places, and you see the Charlotte fans in there? What does that mean to y'all?
You say me?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, yeah, like, so, like, I was gonna say, like, I see, you know, La Muerte every time we're at an away game. I look at the section, I see his skeleton costume on. I'm like, you're here again? Like, it's like every away game, like, you can see it. But, you know, it's all funny and jokes. But at the end of the day, it does mean a lot to see these sort of fans, because these are kind of fans that kind of influence other people to have the same commitment. And that's what we love as players. We love seeing the fans just so committed, you know, engaging with us, talking with us, supporting us. Like, that's just what we love as players. And, you know, having these people, especially if they do travel, it means the world, because we know, like Steve was kind of saying, like, the budget, like, we know that, you know, they're paying money to come see us at the end of the day, you know. So we kind of want to give, at least for me, my mindset, like, when I'm, you know, playing an away game or even a home match, is like, you know, I know people, you know, come to pay to watch me and the team play. Like, me and the team need to kind of help, you know, perform so they get their money's worth in the day. Because at the end of the day, like, we want them to be happy. And so that's just kind of my biggest thing. And that's why I appreciate the fans so much, you know, for going, you know, to all the games, whether if it's, you know, rough or if it's a good time period, like, the fans are always there. So.
And Danny, you know, I'll close this one with this one point. In what other sport could you have someone like Chico, who has more local endorsement deals than any of our designated players? I mean, come on.
I've seen him outside stores with that. He's great.
We need some local businesses to fix that. You know, I need Carol and Camille in a Target commercial with Top Bin or something like that for sure. Stalking them. Beyond just the individuals, there's the groups, right? Best local supporters group. Charlotte FC is blessed to have the royal family. There's many supporters groups. You know, the Furia, the Hooligans, the Reserves, the folks on Independence, the Mint City Collective, the QC Royals, who are just sort of the shadow supporters group. That you know, everyone. There's a dozen more. There really are a bunch more, and I think it's so, like, I know in other clubs, you know, there's supporters group cultures that have a lot of issues. And I know I can think about, I believe it's Toronto FC that has like two huge supporters groups that sit at opposite ends of the stadium because they hate each other more than they love their club. And, you know, I just think, like, we're blessed that all these people, even though they're in these different groups, they're all fairly aligned in terms of like trying to like make this club great and be part of something that is great and positive. Jessica, what do you think about supporters group? You saw it in Atlanta. You've seen like the evolution of like a young club supporter culture grow, and now you get to sort of like see us in an earlier stage than that was. How does it all work with you in that regard?
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to get in trouble with any of my Atlanta United following.
No, you don't have. They're not watching. They're watching themselves lose to Columbus right now. By the
I
way,
heard it's 2-0, by the way. 2-0 in 18 minutes.
Yeah,
Shout out to Will
exactly.
Martin. Will Martin's keeping me updated.
They're not watching.
Very grateful for Will giving me the updates. But Atlanta supporters group, I used to work for a non-profit that was tied really closely to Atlanta United, and it was pretty toxic trying to get them to play together. I remember I hosted a five-a-side tournament and they wouldn't play with each other in a five-a-side tournament. It was that kind of toxic. So to move into Charlotte FC and to be able to walk around the tailgate and see everybody intermingling, to see everybody with their different initiatives, their charity work, their inclusivity, the diversity, the fact there's a group for everybody, is amazing. And it's brought me great pleasure in getting to know the different supporters groups personally and all the really cool events they put on. So more power to them. And I mean, what's more special than the royal family on a game day, putting up their tifo that they've all worked on together? I mean, they do a marvelous job. So our supporters groups are really special.
Jaylin, can I ask you, I don't want to give away too many people's processes, but I did, a little producer named Sam Spencer told me that you were the one who nominated QC Royals for this page. Is there a reason that they stuck out to you? Because that's not one of the bigger groups, but I love the fact that they made a mark and you felt like nominating them.
Yeah, I feel like I do. I mean, it's kind of like I guess in a biased way, but I do feel a lot of love from that sort of group. And so I know they did help, with the TIFO. And also I did hear that they were the ones that I guess they created the stickers about playing me every game. So that obviously
play Jaylin Lindsey every game.
That kind of was like,
yeah.
I guess that was kind of like once I figured out that they were the ones that started those stickers, I was like, oh, okay, that's pretty cool. So I think that's why I kind of put that nomination in there for me. So.
They show love, you show love. That's the way it works.
For sure.
Steve, you nominated Furia. What was your thinking there?
I see them everywhere. They're at the Charlotte Independence games. They're at the Crown Legacy games. They represent, and I'm not saying others aren't there, but you can't miss Blue Furia with that.
Right.
So
you
that's,
can't miss the drums.
Yeah. Sometimes I could miss the drums if it were possible, but the thing is, they are there. They're
can't get away from it.
Anyway,
yeah.
They're supporting soccer as a whole in Charlotte, not just FC, not just Independence, but the game as a whole, and that's what I support, is every aspect of the game. I'm still going to high school games. I'm still playing my own game. These things. And I also just want to shout out that it's beyond the supporters groups as well, because one of the great traditions that this club has now started by accident, but it started with everybody in the stadium at the very first game when the sound system went out. And I'm in the press box for that one. And when the fans started singing the national anthem, 70,000 of them, you could hear it through the glass and you could hear it clear. And it just, one, amazed me how quickly they picked up on it. And two, how good they were. Charlotte fans have, I don't say I got a terrible voice. I'm not inflicting that on people, but as a stadium, our people sound pretty good. So that, and also the team was clever enough to just let that one grow. And it's become, the first real tradition of the team that happened holistically. And that's all the fans.
What's that like for you, Jaylin, here in the stadium anthem? I just wonder, as a player, like we have a lot of people from all around the world on our club. For you being an American, so not everyone's singing the anthem, but I know that you are down there as an American. Just like what's it like here in the stadium singing?
No, it's awesome. I mean, I specifically remember the very first game when it actually did happen. And like immediately it seemed like you're just kind of like at this big concert, like on the field. It was just kind of like, oh, this is nice. So like whenever I got goosebumps remember the first game. And then, I do think it's a really good tradition to like we keep going on with that because like that's just kind of like how it happened the first game, and I feel like you just keep going with that. Like, for me, I really do appreciate it as well. So, yeah, again, that's where like the fans are so creative in these groups. They're so creative of coming up with creative things to do to kind of keep us, kind of excited. So, yeah, I mean, I love that national anthem. I love when the fans sing as well.
Excellent. Well, let's get philosophical now in our next phase of awards here. We're going to say, you can't have the bad, you can't have the good without the bad. So we're going to start with our favorite thing to cheer about, and then we will take a moment in our next category to acknowledge some complaints. But let's get philosophical for a moment here and just talk about our favorite things to cheer about. All these are worthy candidates: goals, the Poznan, Serminti, all 3 local pro teams and growing. The USL Super League team starts next year. Tifos are great. Jaylin was on a Tifo you mentioned. Obviously, that meant a lot to you. For me, though, there's a runaway winner here. I know I'm not a judge, but I just got to show love to Serminti. I mean, Serminti brings joy wherever he goes, and it's going to be tough to beat him in this category. Does anyone have any thoughts there? Jump in, Jess.
Yeah, I mean, I think I try and shout out Serminti whenever I see him on a broadcast.
Right. It's just like he sets
Serminti made it into our playoff clasping speech. I'm going all inspirational, and then I see Serminti destroying the Heron after the Miami game, and it had to get mentioned. And I kind of had that brain move over to Serminti. But come on, guys. Yes, Serminti's cool, but goals win games. Maybe I'm being boring, maybe I'm being traditional, but nothing gets me out my seat like a goal. And nothing kind of boosts my ears than a Willy Pilly. Wow. That might be a
new nickname alert. Yeah.
New one. I hope he never hears that. A Willy P goal call. So I think it's got to be the goals for me.
Yeah, those calls hurt my ears.
We have a question from the chat. Thanks to everyone who's watching us along, by the way. Who would have thought that, dozens and hundreds of people would want to sit here and watch us shoot the breeze online, but that's great. But I want to honor that by bringing in a question from the chat. And Nick Finelli asks, Jaylin, do you ever want to go into the stands and join the Poznan when it's going on? What's that phenomenon, seeing everyone jumping up and down like that?
I mean, every time I see it, I'm just like, I want to be like, obviously in the field, like on the field, I want to be serious, but at the same time, like sitting in the back of my mind, I just kind of want to like start jumping like with them, like on the field. But
oh man, you got to do that,
so
dude.
cool.
You got to do that. You got to get the player, like one game at some point when the timing is right. The players all do it with the fans. I know you got to be focused on that moment.
That's a cool idea. Like before we like start
awesome.
lining up and stuff, we just go to the corner and just everyone start jumping up and down. That'd be kind of cool.
Yeah, maybe a goal selling, something like that. Yeah, for sure.
That'd be super cool to go enjoy that. That'd be awesome.
Then you have goals and the Poznan.
Oh, right, exactly. Bring it all together. But so it's not even Thanksgiving yet, but we're already going to pre-celebrate Festivus and have an airing of grievances here for this category. What are the fans for things to complain about? And what do we maybe want to make better in our world here? Is it beer showers? Is it mansplainers and complainers? Gatekeepers, I would say, just people who think they know everything about soccer and aren't welcoming to newbies. Is it Messi mania? Is it the season ticket prices? Jaylin, we need your thoughts on ticket prices. No, just kidding. I'm not going to go there. But turf. Is it? If you want to talk about turf, you can feel free to opine. But that might make this thing go huge. I don't know. What do you think about when it comes to things that could be better? Something we might want to get rid of in our Charlotte soccer experience, Steve? Steve.
Oh, it's me. Oh,
yeah. Sorry, my bad. Yeah, I threw it to you first. If you want to go there, okay. I don't know. You're the voice of wisdom and rationality in this conversation. So
again, just longevity on that. Well, the beer showers. I happened to be at that inn in one of the early games the first year, and never went back down there. Well, I never actually go behind there when Charlotte. I'm shooting more from the side on that because. It's a long game and I don't want to be like that. And why anybody would throw a beer that costs that much is beyond me. I'm going to go with Messi mania because he's the greatest player of his generation, not the greatest of all time in my estimation. I'm still on the Pele train with that, but I just think it's been overdone. I mean, it is brilliant having him here. He has brought a lot of eyes and attention here, and I'm thrilled that he is here. He's a phenomenal player. But there's more to this league than just Messi. And I think that Apple and MLS need to have a little bit of balance in there, because it's when you go on the Apple TV page and you have to scroll down like yards before you get to other programming, and it's unnecessary. Whoever wants to find Messi, gonna find Messi. And again, he's brilliant. So I like to see our guys kicking his ass all over the field. That's just me.
Yeah, I'll confess, I'll cop to a little bit of annoyance with Messi mania for sure. I'm not going to ask for any of your complaints, Jaylin. I don't think that's what you're here for. But I would love to hear your thoughts as a player on just the idea of like these FIFA players now are playing in the league with you, like guys that you grew up like controlling Busquets with a video game controller and Messi, and now they're like standing across from you. It's got to feel like you're part of a growing, vibrant like thing that's getting bigger and cooler all the time, right?
Oh yeah, I mean 100%. I mean, like, obviously I'm not the biggest complainer, on things. But I do think there are some times where it's a bit too much. But I mean, like Steve was saying, like, he's a phenomenal player. Like, one of the best. I've watched him growing up every weekend.
Right.
Throughout my youth soccer career and even pro soccer career. So yeah, I don't know. I just sometimes it's a bit too much, but maybe it's deserved. I don't know. But yeah, for me, that's just kind of like my only throughout these nominees. I would say ticket prices, don't really know about that. Don't mind playing on the turf, so it's not a big deal for me.
That's interesting.
The complainers, I mean, I can be one sometimes too, so I'll go on that.
I love that we're complaining about complaining. Our biggest complaint is people complaining. That's kind of funny.
There you go. And then beer showers, I mean, I did hear that those were kind of irritating and annoying. So, I can see how that could be annoying, because if I was in that kind of supporter section, I would want beer on me as well. So that's something I would probably complain about.
Most people get pissed. Charlotte goals, let it rain.
Yeah, most people get pissed when the beer gets on like their kid or their photo equipment. Maybe Steve, I'm not sure. Yeah, that's when it gets not cool. But anyway, that's enough complaining. Let's move past that. But it is worth at least acknowledging. How about some awards? Now we're getting to some player names here, so you can feel free to be judicious with your comments, Jay. But this is all positive, because we're going to first talk about community leader and like guys who are out there doing it in this town. You can go ahead and reveal them, Sam. Obviously, BB13 is going to be in there, someone who has been, raising money through fundraisers and doing a lot of things. Oh, did we skip this already? Did we already get to? Did I?
Sorry, there is a based on everybody's input. I think this one accidentally got deleted, but it is a moment of the year. It's a
okay, gotcha. Sorry, I skipped a category. Forgive me.
Then we'll get to that.
It failed as a host. We will get to that in a second. Moment of the year though is a good one. Man, for me, it's got to be earning that playoff spot. What a special time. What do y'all think of some of your favorite moments of the season?
Yeah, without a doubt, that matchup against Miami, particularly the fact Messi played 90 minutes, because there was so much talk about, oh, well, it doesn't really count if Charlotte doesn't beat, or if Inter Miami's, not playing properly. And they played Messi, they played Busquets, and were still able to grind out that result. So that was a really special part, something to be a part of. The Kerwin Vargas bicycle kick was unreal. Unfortunately, because it's in the match that it's in, it won't be a highlight. For me, it goes missing. That goal on its own,
literally one of the greatest goals of the last 10 years in MLS,
without a doubt.
Easily. Yeah.
But unfortunately, do we really want to remember it because of the context of the match? Maybe not. But I enjoyed the Charlotte Independence NCFC final. I watched that one on TV. That was a really, really cool thing. And also shout out to Charleston Battery, who made it to the final as well. I think we're seeing how good of a region the Carolinas are. The fact that 3 of the 4 USL League One championship and League One and League Championships were all made out of Carolina's team. So that was pretty cool.
The South's got something to say for sure when it comes to soccer, for real. And I think this is a category that is so personal to people. But I do wonder, do you have a favorite moment, Jaylin?
I mean, these are all hard, because like these are all good moments. Because I did watch some of the Independence NCFC final. That was a really good game. I would say personally for me, I think the Leagues Cup penalty shootout wins. I guess just like in general that kind of run in that tournament. I do think it was just kind of like because our season was kind of just like so up and down, and then we got to the Leagues Cup, and we just kept like getting like this stride of we kept winning, and kept getting results. And I just think kind of going through that tournament just kind of made us closer as a team a little bit because we were kind of just fighting every single game because it was a win or go home. So I do think that Leagues Cup, penalty shootout wins were some of the best moments for me.
Yeah, I feel so blessed that we just got to experience such like high intensity soccer, like whether it was Leagues Cup, whether it was end of season run, whether it was Independence playoffs, like soccer really like made your heart pound this year in the city. Like, and it was huge. Here's the award I was referring to earlier. Sorry, I jumped the gun and didn't read my screen. I started going off my script, but you see what these guys do. BB13's out there. George Marks is doing his laundry washing project that is huge. Sean McIntosh is repping for the club, and the Westwood is just the captain. I won't stand up on my chair, Ethan Hawke style, and do an "Oh, captain, my captain," but maybe you will, Steve, because you may be the only person on this call who gets that reference.
It's a unique thing. You cannot do you can't do enough in the community when you're a professional athlete. They're the people that you came from. It also it keeps you grounded in so many different ways to the fans that are out there, and also for them to realize that we're all human at the end of the day. Whatever happens on the field, for better or worse, is temporary. How we treat each other, how we respect each other, especially in the political times we're in now, is so important. And all of these people on here are great. Jaylin, the same with this, the respect that they show the fans. I've been with Brant talking at Memorial Stadium at an Independence game, and fans, they see him and they come up to him, and the same with Christian Fuchs and the others, Marks and the others who were there who had been with that team, and they always are making time for the fans and things like that, and getting involved with stuff. And I know I'm more familiar with a lot of the stuff that Brant's been doing, but this is one where anybody who's on this list is worthy of it.
Yeah, I just want to say that Jaylin, you didn't make the final nominees, but you were my nominee for this list because you may not know it, but you visit one of the schools you visited earlier this year with Chico, I think, was my daughter's school, and she got
there we
you
go.
were shaking
Okay.
hands with her and all her friends. So there you go. So that's why I was happy to nominate you for this. Sam, let's go quickly here now through favorite local footballer. This is an interesting mix of players. We got an Independence veteran. We've got our illustrious guest, Mr. Lindsey. Everybody, he's one of our own. Play him every damn game. We've got a wonder kid named Fasha Berkimas who made a name for himself this morning, scoring 2 goals in the Under-17 World Cup for Team USA to beat South Korea. And then we got Scotty Arfield, the musician. 3 of these 4 people have been guests on the Charlotte Soccer Show. I'm just going to go ahead and say that this year. So that might have what got them the bump to be nominees in this category, is our podcast helping y'all connect with these fans. But we've talked a lot about connection with fans, Jaylin, but like, how does it feel to be nominated in the category of favorite local footballer? Pretty incredible.
No, it feels amazing. Like it feels, really good to kind of, be a nominee for this. This is, I guess, a kind of award or a certain award that you'd want to win, especially being from the Charlotte area. So, super happy to, be up here, and, the three other guys are just ballers as well. So, I'm glad to see who it turns out to be. So.
Terrific. And everyone's going to have their favorites. And I'm excited to see if your favorite didn't make the final 4. It's like, who do you choose from this list? It's going to be an interesting dynamic to see how those votes fall. And then if we go on, there's also, we had named Fasha in there, but there's also breakout star, the young players, like the kids, as they say, play your kids. And you think about the things Ajmong did this year, Cambridge saving our bacon against Chicago, Malanda and Privet both like being rocks. You stand next to 2 of these guys on the pitch, Jaylin. How's the chemistry on the back line with such young, promising prospects?
No, it's actually really good. I mean, we kind of all understand each other really well, and we're all young, so we kind of are like kind of in that same trajectory of where we're at, what we're learning. We're kind of like learning kind of at the same pace a little bit, which is really nice. So, obviously two of these guys, I play with, kind of a little bit more, and obviously Brandon has came in a couple games and started a couple games where he's playing right mid, I'm playing right back. So, I've had play with him a little bit and watch him play with Legacy, and obviously Patrick has played, a good amount. I think I assisted him 2 of his goals this year too. So, I mean, most of these guys, like all of these guys are, they broke out this year. I mean, I feel like some of these guys, played a lot more than others, but I think all these guys, are just have so much talent, and I see these guys on a daily basis, and they just they work their butt off, and obviously I'm proud of that, and I think if they keep going with that kind of same work rate, that they can only just get better. So
Excellent. I love that you knew that. Jess, what's it like for you seeing we've moved on? Sam's now showing the most improved nominees, but all these player names that we're showing, what's it like connecting with these guys, like through being, I watch every game, but I turn my head, I sip my beer, I walk over, talk to this person at the bar, or, go make a beer run at the stadium. You are like watching nonstop, hyper-focused, 90 minutes straight. You're always doing the full 90 no matter what. What's it like to see these players now get a chance to be honored from the fans that are going to now be voting on them?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like I've witnessed and kind of grown up with them in Charlotte, and you see the effort that goes into it, and you're always rooting for them. And sometimes it's hard in the role as an analyst because I have to, pick out when things maybe aren't going so well. So when they're able to thrive, it's a blessing. And I'm going to go for the most improved player right now and single out Nathan Byrne, just because. Short story, Nathan and I went to the same school. We didn't overlap, but we both attended the same school in England, which is kind of cool. Nathan's a little older than me, not to throw his age out there, but we didn't pass each other there. But I think Nathan, the League's Cup, brought Nathan Byrne into the forefront of supporters' eyes, and rightly so. Some of those recovery runs, his ability to draw the foul. I mean, I would hate to be a forward playing against Nathan Byrne because he just draws that foul time and time again by skipping in between the ball and the forward and then just feeling the contact. So I've loved watching Nathan and him grow and kind of get acclimatized to MLS. I think we sometimes underestimate when players come from overseas, particularly in England. They think, oh, they played in England, they're going to be ready for MLS. Well, actually, it's a completely different ball game. But all 4 of those players are fantastic and I think have come a long way. But for me, Nathan Byrne's jump from being, quite highly criticized by a large portion of the fan base to being absolutely undroppable.
Yeah, I mean, we even made up a song about him. Burn, baby, burn. Nathan's Inferno. I mean, he puts opposing attackers in there.
I'm so glad that you're doing the singing Brams. I didn't get told about
I sing on. I make sure I sing on almost every episode of the pod, so I got to bring that here as well. Let's go global. Let's widen a little bit, and then we'll zoom in. But favorite global footballer, like Charlotte fans follow the global game as well. We're not just so myopic and looking at our own stuff. What jumps out at you on this list, Jaylin? I'm sure you're a fan of the global game as well, beyond just your career.
I mean, all of these are, very good nominees, but I mean, just one just kind of stands out from the rest. I think he's honestly the best footballer of all time for me, Ronaldo in that sense. So I think that's all I have to say. I mean, he's just the best. So, I'll leave it to maybe Steve. Steve.
What do you think, Steve? Yeah.
Actually, I mean, this is a great list, and I've been suffering with Spurs for 40 years. So Harry Kane has been a favorite of mine. I love it.
He's no longer suffering with Spurs, Harry Kane, unfortunately for him.
No, and nor would he have up until the past 2 games either. But I mean, these are all great athletes. Mad respect for Megan Rapinoe and Alex Morgan and what they've done to promote the women's game, which is growing in leaps and bounds. I mean, yes, on Friday I'm watching University of Georgia women's team win their first NCAA game after becoming the SEC champions for the first time. So the growth of the women's game is only really still in its nascent form. as it gets bigger. New deal with CBS for NWSL, which is awesome. But I'm going to throw in my favorite global footballer is that little 10-year-old kid on the video and social media who is just dribbling everybody comes through and then just scores a worldie at the end. Have no idea what his name is, but 8 million people or more have seen his video. So I'm thinking that's global. Those that's my favorite players right now.
YouTube Techers kid is great. Jess, you call a lot of women's college soccer, so you're seeing the next generation of women's players come up. Like, are you excited? I know Rapinoe's on this list. She's an all-timer. She's walking away from the game. How's the future of women's soccer looking as it expands in this country?
Yeah, I think it's amazing, but I think that the rest of the world is caught up. So the US has to do a lot more to improve the women's pipeline because there's not a big enough professional level. That's why I'm really excited that USL is adding a professional women's league to kind of grow. So it's not just NWSL. So I think the US is going to be okay, but they've got a big 4 years ahead. Just quickly, Jude Bellingham, best footballer in the world right now. England's lucky to have him. So I'm a shout out, Jude.
Love it. Hope he gets healthy soon.
Jude.
We are going to move to the final phase of categories here. It's our MVPs. And we only got a few minutes left. Full disclosure, I'm Mr. Transparency. We got people on this call whose laptop batteries are in
7%.
dire
7%. I'll take ownership. I don't know where my charger is.
So
my phone is dead.
let's
I'm
talk
on
Crown
7%.
Legacy MVP first. Great categories here. Where do you fall, Steve? I know you got to see a lot of Legacy play this year.
Listen, all of these players are worthy choices on this. There was so much balance on that team. And while Jose would hate every time I say it, I said I liked it when they went one down because I always knew they were coming back. And that's either Isaac in the back or, the goalkeeping there. But I had nominated David Poreba just because his leadership. And the truth is, they had, 8 or 9 captains on the pitch at any time. Great program there. I think it's a wonderful starting place for players wanting to make their way up to the first team.
Isaac
I'm good with
Walker, I
all
just
of
have to say it. The goalie wars video. Isaac wins for me, hands down.
Yeah,
me playing
exactly.
Isaac, the goalie wars was
He does have a great belt.
Right.
oh my gosh, and his throw, guys, I'm not joking. That throw was literally insane. And the best news for me was the professional goalkeepers couldn't handle the throw too. It made me feel a lot better about
Right.
myself.
Yeah, exactly. And you like him being able to do that video with you probably helped him realize throwing is the way to go when he got to the actual
Okay, I
competition,
might
for
be
sure.
telling stuff I'm not meant to tell, but he had not practiced one bit till I showed up 3 days before the game. That was the first time he played goalie wars. So go me for sacrificing myself.
I believe that's the first ever documented instance of social media actually making the world better. For the first time ever, it actually worked. So that's good. Charlotte Independence. It's for me, it's got to be Austin Pack. I mean, he's the best goalkeeper in the Carolinas. He's just he won the actual league award for best goalkeeper of the year. I think he's the Independence MVP. We also got fans voting for some clubs that don't really get a lot of ton of attention around here, but NC Courage did play. They play a spring season. And Steve, you know a little bit about these ladies. I know Caroline is very popular and got a ton of nominations. And NC Courage will be coming back next spring, correct?
Yeah, oh, absolutely. And they made a good run, but when Caroline was injured in the playoffs, it changed everything for that club. And they went from being a favorite to get to the final to not even making it. And it's good. It's worth for fans to take the trip up to Cary to see them play.
NCFC. Now, Sam's a professional and Soccer Sheet is a professional publication. So they put this category in for NCFC having an MVP. After NCFC eliminated Independence in the final and beat us and not denied the Independence a title in USL League One, I boycotted this category. I can't vote for an NCFC MVP. Sam, can you just I'm going to have you apologize to our viewers, apologize to your family, and apologize to the Wright brothers for why this is even a category in this competition.
Well, look, there's a lot of reasons to go up to Cary. You've had both the Courage and North Carolina FC, the USL One champions this year, as well as the TST tournament there at Wake Med Soccer Park, which I was at and enjoyed. But if you're looking for a cheat sheet for this one, Anderson has by far the most goals for NCFC and would probably be a good choice. However, Danny, to make you feel a little better, nobody on North Carolina FC was credited with the goal in their win over the Charlotte Independence.
Phantom goal, never happened. And finally, the final category. Thanks everybody for being here. This is going to be a hotly contested one because everybody has their opinion on what makes Charlotte FC click. Jaylin, you don't have to vote here, but I want to know from you before we say goodnight about the excitement you feel and this band of brothers and this team that's now fought through 2 hard-fought seasons and now feels ready to launch into the most success we've ever had going into next year.
Yeah, I'm gonna tell you, I feel very excited. Going into this next year. For me, I do believe that we are gonna bounce back in a very positive way this upcoming season, and I think everyone kind of feels the same way. I feel like we'll have our chemistry there; it'll only get better, and I just feel like we'll have a really, really good team with really good chemistry moving into next year.
Jess, what are you looking for in an MVP?
It's a tough one. I think every player on that list has contributed something amazing to this team. You look at Carroll just because of leading the scoring categories, but Ashley Westwood and his leadership was special. Adelson, I mean, I forget how young he is watching him play because the way Melanda just is so smooth and just incredible in the way. Christian Kalina, goalkeepers union, some of the best saves we've seen without him in Inter Miami in that matchup. We never even make playoffs. And then Brian Bronico is Mr. Work Ethic, right? So, I mean, 5 incredible players. I'm interested to see where the fans go, but I am so excited for next season. I think the core group, like Jaylin said, is incredible. The chemistry was building, the momentum is building, and if we can get off to a bright start, I think things could be really good this year coming.
Yeah, I totally agree. Steve, you got a favorite?
I'm good with all of them, but Christian, Kalina, so too many times it came down to preventing goals from going in. It's a team that needs to score more, but I think for this year it was Kalina.
Excellent. Yeah, the Jaylin shouted out the Leagues Cup run as sort of being the thing that like sparked the team, and I'll never forget Kalina standing with his arm there on those penalty kicks against Dallas, just like psyching out the Dallas shooters. Like I was like, what is he doing? I don't know, but it worked. It was brilliant. So I think he has a strong case. Like Jess said, I'm excited to see where the fans go here. Sam, I want to thank you for bringing us all together. I want to thank everybody who watched. Everybody get out there and vote. Go back and watch this video a million times on wherever they post it. And I'll give you the last word, Sam, because I think that my job of just sort of moderating this thing is done. I'm going to say, go vote for the Charlotte Soccer Show for whatever category we're nominated in. And that's about all I have left.
No, absolutely, Danny. Thank you so much for hosting. Jess, Jaylin, Steve, everybody. Thank you so much for being on and contributing. Just some procedural stuff. We're gonna have the ballot up tomorrow morning. This will go out in Soccer Sheet and Y'all Weekly, the whole video, so you can watch it, go through the nominees, see who's up there. Obviously, some of these people just made amazing contributions all over the place, and if you disagree with one, vote for somebody else. But I definitely want to say keep up the positivity on this, because there's so much to be thankful for. I know we're coming into Thanksgiving soon, but I'm truly thankful to have met and worked with all of you, in the press box, on the pitch, and for everybody who's here watching and is contributing to this ecosystem, because I'm a strong believer that the community created by soccer and football is something that's really important. It's something that we saw Ash talking about, the Skip Bird towards the end of the year, also talking about just how important building that community is. And I do think that out of every sport, this is really the one that gives us an opportunity to come together, build something that's greater than the sum of its parts. And I'm just so thankful to have so many people involved and being willing to participate in this. And hopefully, in the near future, we'll be coming through and honoring these winners, because there's so many people who have done spectacular jobs. And I'm just incredibly thankful for all of you being on here tonight. And especially, Jaylin, getting to see you play and getting to see everybody on the team just give it their all, and being able to bear witness to that is something that's really special.
Hell yeah. Thanks, everybody.
All right, everyone. Have a good night.
Thank you guys. Thank you. Good night.
Cheers.